beautiful beaders, it's Gina from orchidandopal.com, and today I'm going to share with you guys how I make these simple coiled wire cord ends. I recently shared this necklace with you guys down below in my last finished jewelry update, and I showed you how I used these cord ends because of the fact that I was using antique copper findings in this necklace but didn't have any of these guys in the right tone. Making your own wire cord ends is a great trick to know because you can adjust them to the fit of your cord. You don't have to purchase multiple different sizes and multiple different finishes. You just need to pull from your stash of wire and the sky's the limit. With regards to the wire, I do recommend that you use between a 20 to a 22 gauge size. Any thicker than that, it might be a little bit difficult to coil, and any thinner than that, it might just be a little bit too flexible than what you want. All the products that you need to make these today are available on bbcraft.com, and I do have a coupon code that will save you $5 off a purchase of $40 or more. That code is GINA, G-I-N-A, and they do have free shipping internationally on purchases over $25. I will leave the links to everything I'm using down below as well as that coupon code in case you want to check it out. In addition to your wire, you'll need some wire cutters and also something to wrap your wire around. The tool that I'll be using today is the 6-step bail making pliers. You can see these have different size round sections, which are great for making bails, of course, but also you can make your own ear wires, jump rings, and other findings like cord ends. If you don't have these, you can find something else around your house maybe that will match the size of the cord that you're using. For example, a pencil, a knitting needle. You can get pretty creative with that. But for today's video, let's go ahead and imitate the coil ends that I made for this necklace. You want to grab a piece of wire, cut a piece that's approximately 4 to 6 inches long. If you want to make a similar cord end that's approximately this height and will wrap around a 4mm size diameter cord. Since I'm going to be matching up to my 4mm cord, I'm going to use the 4mm size segment on these pliers. And what we want to do is we want to pinch the wire at the very end, and I'm going to start wrapping this towards me. And once I got that loop started, I just switched my hand position a little bit. So hold it however it's comfortable for you and start pinching slightly onto that wire and turning towards you just gradually to make yourself a coil as high as you want it. This one will probably end up being about 6 loops, maybe 7. But what we want is we want to have about 1 inch left to play with. And if your coil is slightly loose, don't worry about it. You can always compress that with some pliers or your fingers, but try to get the coil as tight as possible to whatever you're wrapping it around. So I just took this off and I'm going to compress that down a little bit with my fingers, just like that. So with this coil made and the wire coming out from the top, you have approximately 1 inch segment. And again, you want to grab that between your pliers right at the end at whatever section you're planning to wrap around. And we're going to wrap this towards us gently. Just pinch and turn, and you want to end up with 2 full loops of wire. And as you get closer to your existing coil, you will just slowly turn your pliers to start training those 2 coils to sit right on the top of that opening. So you should end up with something like this. There's your 2 coils. Take a minute to just make sure these loops are compressed. You can do that with your fingers and make sure these loops at the top are sitting together how you want them and pretty much centered over that top hole. And then what you'll do is you will feed that cord right into that coil. You may need to twist and turn it just a little bit, but if you matched it with your cord size, you should be pretty good. And make sure it's pushed all the way down and the coils are sitting pretty straight. They're not getting flattened and starting to turn sideways or anything. If you wanted to, you could dab a little bit of glue at the end of your cord or inside of this wire cord. You could use E6000 or some GS Hypo Cement. That is totally up to you. I do find that tightening the coil on your cord is generally effective enough to keep everything in place. Once you have your cord end in place, if you do have a pair of nylon jaw pliers like this by chance, it would be a great time to pull these out. These are great for not scratching up your wire. If you don't have these, just use a regular pair of jewelry making pliers and just be as gentle as you can while you are going around and gently squeezing this wire onto the coil. Just little squeezes all the way around. And also while you're doing that, try your best to keep this coil compressed and also straight to where the wire is not bending. You can see by tightening this coil down so far, it's actually given a little bit more slack to this bottom free end of the wire. So now I'm going to concentrate on that bottom piece of wire and really try to squeeze that one down onto our cord to keep this wire end sitting tightly. So I'm actually going to come in with my chain nose pliers so I can really concentrate on that end. And just going to gently squeeze down on that bottom loop, but also turn it a little bit in the process so that I'm not creating a kink in the wire. I'm still keeping that coil round. See, I'm slowly turning it. But at the same time, I'm really tightening that bottom coil, especially onto the cord. See that bottom coil? Now I'm going to go back in with my nylon jaw pliers, try to straighten everything back up. This is a part of the process. You're just going to have to take the time to mold this to your cord gradually. The more carefully you do it, the slower you go, the better. That way you're not going to accidentally flatten your coil or scrape it up, but just keep gently going around. And you tell that wire where you want it to go. I'm going back in with my chain nose pliers again for probably the last time. And once again, just giving that bottom coil an extra squeeze, because that's where I want it to be extra tight against the cord. And it's gotten a little bit misshapen, so I'm going to go back in and tighten this up a little bit, reshape it to exactly how I want it. And we're definitely getting there. So there you have it. That's the process I used to create this coil cord end. You can do this with any color and match any size cord, and maybe even save a little bit of money with this tip. Last little tip I'll mention is if you have the ability to tuck that end of wire in towards your cord or slightly underneath this bottom coil, it'd be a great idea to do so because you really want that part to catch and be tight on whatever cord you're using. If you are using a braided cord or bolo cord like this, you can also try to tuck your end inside one of the folds if you want to. The main takeaway here is if this is your first time creating one of these wire cord ends, it will take some trial and error, so be patient with yourself. Practice makes perfect. And don't skimp on the time that it takes to clamp this wire down on your cord. Really be gentle with it. Go slow, take your time, and the results will be worth it. Finally, like I said, I will leave the links to everything that I used today down below. Don't forget that coupon code available for bbcraft.com. And if you don't have all these special tools, you're more than welcome to modify the same process by using what you already have. I want to thank you guys so much for being with me for this quick tutorial. I hope it was helpful for you. Please feel free to leave me a comment down below and let us know if you have anything you'd like to add or share. But until next time, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. And as always, happy beading. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. For more content like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified of my latest videos. You can check out the information section below this video for links to all my social media handles, recommended products, and my shop and blog at orchidandopal.com. Thanks for watching.